Welcome, guys. Top End Productions, we're back once again, this time across multiple platforms. Facebook. Jinx, motherfucker. Judging video today. We're gonna make this interesting as fuck, because we got some free shit and we got some advice. But we're out of the free shit until the end of the video. So I guess you're gonna have to watch, or if you're an asshole, you can skip to the end. What? Let's get down to brass fucking tacks, shall we? Alright, guys. On today's episode, obviously, we're going to be doing judging. We're going to go into some obvious tips and advice, and we're going to go into some not so obvious things, you know, like environment stuff, like that. Right, Gil?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, these are things that are must-haves in comps. Not necessarily, but for a good comp, this is the stuff you're going to need. You know, we're going to go over what to look for in a cloud, what to look for if you're a competitor, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, let's go ahead and start this shit, shall we?
Man, let's get it. First off, we're going to start with density.
So with density, obviously, you don't want to be able to read through it. Usually, at comps, there's going to be markers or, you know, a wall that they're going to be comping against. If you can see through it, it's not a very good cloud. You want it to be nice, you want it to look like an actual fucking cloud, like it's about to drop a fucking storm. Alright? Shit.
Now, if both opponents happen to have a really dense cloud, a really wispy cloud where you can see through it, you go and not only judge on the density, but you look at some of the other factors that make you final decision.
Like up next, it's gonna be distance.
Distance is one of the most important parts of the cloud. Now, a lot of shops are gonna have the wall markers. You'll see the foot marks. Obviously, distance. The one that gets the furthest out, that's the one with most distance. Some shops don't have those. Now, what do you do if the shop doesn't happen to have any cloud markers? Use what? Visual aids?
Visual markers. Whatever you think will work. And if density and distance are both still the same, what do we judge on after that?
Form.
Now, form is basically how the cloud looks. You don't want parts of it falling apart. You don't want it to wail. If you've seen some clouds, they go like this and automatic, like a rainbow. You don't want it to rainbow or bend or anything like that. You want it to look nice, pretty, held together like one big ball of white fluff. And you know, for some odd reason, if all three of those things, if they both look beautiful, they're both dense as fuck, and they're both have got like massive distance, then you take it to girth.
Girth, baby.
That's right. It's all about the girth, baby.
Girth. When you talk about girth, you're talking about how fat a cloud is, how wide it gets. Vertically,
right.
baby.
That's right.
Up, down, up, down.
Man. And the last thing we're going to talk about is just not necessarily a tiebreaker. It's more of attention to detail. You know, we're going to talk about connection next.
Connection. How far does the cloud go before it leaves your lips? From beginning to end.
Usually, like a lot of older judges, they'll judge it. They'll judge the distance, form, and density, and girth as soon as the cloud is done. As soon as you're done in exhaling, that's what they judge on.
Yeah, once the cloud leaves your lips, game over.
Now, there are some differences, though.
Different styles of clouds.
Exactly. You know, you have the Cali push, you have, you know, the regular push, you have steady exhale, you have Martians. Yeah. But it's, you got to look at a lot of different angles and aspects of things.
A lot of it is overall.
There you go. You know, with that being said, we're going to go into some more tips on cloud comps.
The environment,
air draft, all that kind of stuff. So first up is going to be air draft. Usually when you do a cloud comp, you want it to be still air, meaning no fans, no air conditioning, no open doors or windows or etc. Nobody moving around either, because believe it or not, when people move, they create air, wafting air. something like I don't know the terminology. I'm not that smart for an Asian. But yeah, you don't want anything to interrupt the still air.
Now sometimes, even though nobody's moving, AC's been turned off, fans are turned off, doors are shut, you'll notice that one side of the cloud wall, or both sides of the cloud wall, only hit a certain distance and just seem to roll into each other there. There might be an air draft. Maybe somebody in the other building beside the shop has the AC on, causing that to go on there. Keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, you tell them to fuck off.
Another thing to look out for is uneven lighting. Not all lighting is created equal. Let them know why, bro.
Man, you know, sometimes you have a shop that, you know, they really weren't prepared for it. And, you know, you have one light at like the 1 foot mark or 2 foot mark at one side. And the other side, there's a light all the way at the end at like 8 or 9 feet. It's so you got to be aware of that. You got to kind of make it more even. Like whether you got to like bring a light or something like that, or make do with what you have.
Not even that, you know, sometimes you get that sunlight coming from the shop window. The opposite side obviously doesn't get that little advantage there. So
that's true.
Keep an eye on that when you're judging.
I mean, not like cloud comps start during the day when they say they are anyway. Always running late.
But still, something to look for.
Yeah, and one last thing, guys, on what we're talking about is the leaning. You got to take into effect the lean. You know, use the marker. So if one guy is leaning to like the 2 foot mark, and his cloud reaches 10 feet, but the other guy only, you know, doesn't lean, but his cloud reaches to the 10 feet, I'm going to give it to the guy that didn't lean and still reached 10 feet because, you know, I mean, obviously, he didn't lean halfway down the damn board.
That being said, that takes us to our next topic.
So, obviously, if you're judging the comp, guys, you want to let the competitors know how it's going to go down. If you're using a count, which we recommend, the vape and vapor count.
Oh yeah.
It's a staple in our comping repertoire. Let the competitors listen to it before the comp starts. That way they get an idea of what they're doing. Like I said, vape and vapor countdown is going to be in the link. The link is going to be in the description below. Yeah, what else we got here?
Your bracket. Make it easy on yourself. There's going to be another link in the description. And I can't truly pronounce this, so I'm going to let him pronounce it.
It's called Challenge. You just put all the names in there, or you sign up, create an account, yada yada yada, all that weird shit on the interwebs, and then you'll put all the names down, and you'll hit a randomizer, and it'll randomly put it all in a bracket. And all you gotta do, and all you gotta do is just sit there and bam, just go down, and you can write it down, and then go off of that, or you can just do it on the computer. It's pretty simple.
Make your life a little easier.
Yeah.
Speaking of lean and things that'll help you judge it more evenly, make sure to specify to the competitors whether you want them to exhale directly on 5 or directly after 5. If you can get both competitors to exhale at the same time, it makes it a whole lot easier to judge the clouds.
Yeah, it really does. Like if you have one guy that blows on 5 and another guy that blows on 6, you're not going to be able to look at both clouds evenly because one's going to be dissipating while the other one's still going.
We're about to go into this clip right here. We're going to use the points we just talked about to help judge at the final connection point.
With that being said, let's go ahead and roll it. Based off of what we just saw there, what do you think on density, Gil? Who's got the density on that?
Honestly, I'm looking at both clouds. I would have to say that both of them are pretty solid and white. You can't see green behind either of them.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and agree. So let's go on to distance. What do you think on that?
Distance, obviously there wasn't any cloud ticks, as we call them. So for visual aid, what I did was look at the lights. We're both centered. We both have a pretty even lean, and the left side seems to be right under the light. The right side seems to be almost under the light. So
you're gonna give it to you on that one, or do you say it's pretty even?
It's too close to judge it just based on distance.
Yeah. In a cloud comp, you're not gonna be able to just sit there and record each one. If you do, then it's gonna take 3 days to do a cloud comp.
Peripherals.
Yeah.
Your peripherals.
All right. So so far it's even. What about a form?
Form? The guy on the left, we was slightly bit higher than the guy on the right. Both of them seem to have pretty solid form. It's still nice and connected. It doesn't look like either of them are gonna bow down or split off. It's pretty down the line.
For me, I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Gil. Gil's didn't have as much break apart as Matt did. And by the way, that is Matt Maynard. He's a good friend of ours. But it's like I said, like he said with the distance, it's too close to call. Let's go ahead and go to girth. What do you think, man?
Looking at both of them, I think he had just a tad bit more girth towards the end of this cloud.
I agree.
It's the slightest bit. Still pretty down the line.
Yeah. And last up is connection. I mean, as you can see, I mean they both blow the same cloud at pretty much the same time. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and say this is a flip and trip.
Yeah, in the rare, well, not really rare occasion, it happens more often than I'd like to admit. If it's too close to call, I'll call it triple flip.
There you go. All right, so with that being said, what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and go into another video that they recorded where it's not going to be so even. All right, guys, as you saw, that was the last clip was more of how do I say this? It's more of a fucked up cloud on one person's part, and we're going to go through and judge it. So with that being said, once again, what do you think on density, Gil?
One on the right, can't see through it. One on the left, can't see through it. Density's pretty good on both parts.
I agree with that, and here's where it gets a little bit off. Let's go with distance. What do you think on the distance, Gil?
Honestly, distance, like I said, using the same visual markers I spoke about before, set up right in the middle of the lights. One on the right side obviously made it almost to the light. The one on the left is only halfway there. So that would have to, I would have to go with right side on distance.
Okay, and let's go ahead and go with form. What do you think about that?
Obviously, the right side connected cloud
Looks pretty.
Looks a lot prettier than what's on the left. The one on the left is, you can tell it's about to shoot off both ways, split off. So form goes to the right side.
And what about the girth, Mr. Gill?
The girth, I'm gonna go with left side. Like I said, it's about to split, so it takes girth, but for all the wrong reasons.
Exactly. And connection?
Connection, I'm gonna have to go right side on that one.
So in that case, guys, Maynard, the guy with the luscious locks on the right, he would be the one that would go on. I would put my right hand up and give it to Mr. Maynard. With all of that information, another thing that I notice is judges seem to want to talk together. Try not to do that. Try to just think of it as your own. Don't let anything influence you from another judge. Now to the point you've all been waiting for, it's giveaway time. There are some rules though. Number 1,
like the page.
Number 2, you gotta like the video too. Number 3,
comment and tag 2 friends.
boom.
Boom.
It's easy. Number 4, share it to any group that will allow it. That's it. And
Only 1 entry per person.
there you go.
Don't be greedy.
And then once we hit 500 likes, we will go live and do the giveaway, and we will announce the winner. We're not going to tell you what it is yet.
You don't want to miss out. It's going to be legit.
Thanks for joining us once again. We love everybody. We're out of here.